I am Brandy Clark. I'm the executive director of the Glass Art Society. Thank you so much for joining us today. With me, we also have Lauren Bayer, who has her camera off, our communications manager, and then Julie Thompson, who is our brand new development manager that just joined our team last week. So we are here to just answer any questions that you may have regarding the proposal process for the upcoming 2023 conference in Detroit, or just if you want to run ideas about different presentations past us. If you have any bigger questions, I will tell you that we are still working out all of the logistics for the Detroit conference. So I may not be able to answer all of your questions, but I will be able to give you a pretty good idea of what we're thinking in regard to access to equipment and available space. So let's just jump right in. I'm here to answer questions. So who would like to start off with a question or two?
I'll start if nobody's speaking. Hello.
Perfect.
Hi. My name is Suzanne Perro, and I'm one of the partners of Rego, Wright, and Llama Auctions. And we do a lot with contemporary glass on the secondary market. I would like to know if there's anything that we could do to join the Detroit Gas Conference, any kind of partnership, anything you might, any way we could be useful. Presentation, something.
That is a very interesting question, Suzanne. And at the moment, my answer is going to be I need to think about that. Because this is not a partnership that we've had in the past with other conferences that I'm aware of. I've been with the organization going on 4 years now. But are you in Detroit?
No, we are in New Jersey, Chicago, and LA.
Okay. Okay. So I would love to give that some thought and then connect offline and have a more in-depth conversation with you if you're open to that.
I would love that.
Okay, because I probably have tons of questions that will not be relevant to everyone else here. So, but I would love to dig into that a little deeper with you.
Great. How do we reach each other?
You can just email me if you like. My email is Brandy, BRANDI, @glassart.org. And I am out the rest of this week, but feel free to go ahead and email me and I'll be back in the office on Monday.
Great. I will go on mute now. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Suzanne. All right. Who's next? Oh, Chelsea, I see you talking, but it looks like you're on mute.
Okay, here I am. Hi.
Hi there.
Everybody? I have an idea. I did a wearable glass in Wonderland fashion show this just recently, and filmed it, as well as have all the costumes and the pieces for it. And I would somehow like to present this at the Glass Art Society conference. So it could either be a lecture format where it's showing the video, talking about the process and all that went into it. So it's that collaboration of fashion design and fused glass. Mm-hmm. Or it could actually be, with people wearing them and in a show. It could be, we could put some kind of a show together as well. Like I said, it's 15 characters, so it's, 15. And it doesn't, of course, have to be all of those. So I'm trying to decide, is it better to put the proposal in as more of a lecture, just talking about this process and this event, or actually like merging it to create it as more of an event?
What I would do at this point is go ahead and submit a proposal for a lecture, include lots of the images of the characters and the outfits. And then in the description, I would include just a note that said, would also be interested in developing this into an event if that's possible, because that's one of those things that right now it's really hard for me to answer that question because we just don't know what our ratio is going to be of different types of activities. So I think it would be great to have them all come to life in that
Okay.
sort of way, but without knowing what the rest of our program looks like, I don't want you to exclude yourself because we may have too many other things. So that's what I would recommend at this point.
Okay, perfect. Because, like, for instance, it could be something more informal, modeling during a cocktail party or something like that as well. So I will kind of give a lot of different ideas of what it could be, and I'm really open and flexible. So
That sounds wonderful because we really do. There is quite a bit of back and forth once you get through the proposal process. So, just to kind of walk everyone through the timeline, proposals, as you know, close July 17th. And then we have the first week of August, we have our planning meeting, which is when we really start to curate the program of the conference. And after that point, that's when some of the back and forth starts happening because maybe we see your proposal and we think, okay, this would be really interesting. But like you said, could we include this as part of a cocktail event that we're already doing? So we would reach out to you with this idea. You would come back and have the opportunity to say, no, that really doesn't line up with the way I want to present it. Or, yes, in fact, we could do this, 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 and this.
sure.
And so that's where the real collaboration between presenters and the organization start.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Who's got something else?
Hi, Jenna Efren down here in Miami.
Hi, Jenna.
I can't see anything or anybody. I don't know if that's a glitch on my end or.
Are you on a computer or on a handheld device?
Computer?
Okay. I think it's got to be on your end. Is everybody else? I see people. Is everyone else seeing people? Okay. Yeah, it looks like it is. It's just you, unfortunately, Jenna, and we can see you.
Great. Okay. It's here. It says asking to be let in. So someone has to let me in, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if I see anybody. I mean, it'd be nice to see your faces, but it's okay. I can still ask my question. I have been running I teach at the University of Miami. I've been running a program that is a collaborative project between my students and working artists in glass in the real world. And I would like to submit a proposal to present this project that I've been doing for several semesters.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering, do I have to have confirmation from the various artists that have participated before I submit my application that they are willing to be a part of the panel?
No. So you can just submit the proposal for the idea of the panel. I would include artists that you're trying or you're asking, but you do not have to have them confirmed in order to submit the proposal. I would say that in your proposal though, just so we know where we are in the process. It will not impact the decision of the panel one way or the other. It just lets us know how many folks that you're thinking. That's the biggest thing, honestly, is for panels, we try to limit it to 3 panelists plus a moderator. We can squeeze it to 4 if need be, but we've had a lot of experience with larger panels that are just not successful for the presenters or the attendees because you only have an hour and a half slot for panels. So when you get too many people involved, there's just not enough time to really convey the content or have an impactful conversation with folks. So that's really what we're looking for when we're starting to talk about panels and how many people are participating. But no, you do not have to have them confirmed by the time you submit.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I've worked with a lot of different artists, so maybe I would just propose to have a few of them present as part of the panel.
Yeah, I think that would be great because again, we've had folks that have had like 6 or 7 people on a panel, and when you have a panel that large, everybody gets 2 to 5 minutes to talk, and the audience really doesn't get an opportunity to engage really thoroughly with folks. So that's why we really encourage people to keep it to a smaller number so that you really can, the audience can really get more out of it and the presenters can actually convey more of what, of the story they're trying to tell.
Okay. And is it fine to submit more than one presentation?
It absolutely is. If you would like to submit something for, honestly, you could submit 2 panels if you wanted, or you could submit a panel and a lecture, a panel and a demonstration. You can submit as many as you want. The likelihood of having more than one accepted is low because we want to include as many different people as possible. So just know that, but absolutely, you can submit as many as you would like.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hi there.
Hi everyone, hi Brandy. So my name is Harish Nawlaka and I'm from India.
Hi, Harsh.
And basically, so right now I'm working on this small model of a studio to basically it might be a far-fetched idea, but I want to start like a studio glass movement in India.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan. But I've been working really closely in the factories in India. There's a lot of glass blowing factories, and they have a huge bangle making industry where like it's pretty well known around the world. I'm guessing that they make a lot of bangles in India.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping because I want to basically spread this knowledge of the bangle making industry because it's a part of glass, but people just consider it to be like a, and it's all hand done, but people just consider it to be like a mechanized thing or a, which is not like, people don't value it too much. So my idea was to, and I'm working on some glass fusings using bangles to create these panels. So there'll be like brush strokes. So I'll be using these bangles and doing these fusings on sheet
Mm-hmm.
glass, pretty fairly large, like 4 by 8, 4 feet by 8 feet. So
Oh,
there'll be
wow.
these panels on the wall, and then have these Japanese pot furnaces that they use as ceramic sculptures in the middle of the gallery. But this is a project which I'm working on. But I want to do like a small talk, or I don't know what are the different categories, but I want to do like a small talk and have like this the bangle make like a small film on the
Mm-hmm.
bangle making industry. And also I want to show some of my pieces which I'll be making with the bangles that they are making in the factories. So I just wanted to know like how I should go about it to present the movie, or to present, like, it'll be a short film, like a 5-7 minute film, like a
Okay.
documentary,
Mm-hmm.
like a 10-minute max film. And just to explain the process. And obviously the glass blowers, they know it's just like a wrap, it's just like a machine wrap.
Right.
But I just wanted to get it out there to the world of glass makers, like in India, that this thing is so big, but around the world there's no, like, not much value of it. So I wanted to push that as a glass artist, the local artisans, the craftsmen, the skill. So I thought Glass Art Society would be the best platform to do this.
I think that that's amazing for several reasons. One, we don't have a huge representation from India. So I think it would be really interesting to hear more about what is happening there. I love that you're trying to get a studio glass movement started in India. And I think that yes, getting the rest of the glass world to know about that and really tell them about what's happening would be tremendously interesting and valuable to the whole community. I would probably recommend, based on what you're suggesting, that you apply for a LECMO, which is what
Uh,
we call
Sorry, what's it called?
a LECMO. So it's a combination of a lecture and demonstration. and it's an
Mm.
hour and a half. It's an hour and a half long, and that's something that we use for a variety of uh, different things. People that are kiln workers or mold makers typically will give a LECMO because it's too difficult for them to do demonstrations or too time consuming. You know, a mold making demonstration would take hours and hours. So for the LECMO, they can come in, they can talk about the process, show things at different stages. And for you, I think since you have this documentary that you would like to include, and then you also have samples of your work that you would like to show, I think that would be the best fit to include all of those different things, but then tie it all together with the lecture.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. But the only issue is because you said that the last date is the 17th of July, I actually don't have the documentary ready. So I don't know how to propose. I'll
You
be
don't
working
need to.
because I have a year in hand. So I thought I'll work on it.
Yes, you
So then how do
absolutely
I?
have plenty of time. So for the proposal process, when you go into submittable, you basically just write a description of what
Okay.
the presentation would be. You do have the opportunity to include images or video if you have them or want to. So if you have images of your work, I would say include those. But I don't worry about the documentary being finished. We do not need to see it at this point. I would just include it in the written part of the proposal.
Okay, written proposal.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I actually didn't get your email address. Can you repeat it once? Just if I have some questions.
I'm going to just drop it in the chat so that you all can see it and make sure it's spelled correctly. So there you go.
Brandy at the rate Glass Art. All right. Thanks a lot.
Fantastic.
Hopefully, it'll be great to
I,
have India featuring in the Glass Art Society conference.
I think so. I can't wait to see your proposal. Thank you, Harsh.
And also one more thing. So I was seeing in the glass world, in the studio glass world, that people are having a lot of issues with colors, with the prices of colors rising, and issues with like compatibility. And I keep seeing people's posts on Facebook. I have this group. There's a group with all the glassies. It's called Glassies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was actually also thinking of starting my own line of color. So is like, do we rent a space for the booth to sell the color or to get people aware about it? Because I was thinking I'll just make some rods or frit with different colors which are compatible. So
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering like if I have to sell it or basically start like a business sort of thing.
We
Um,
do. We have a part of the conference called the gas market. And in the gas market, we have booths that you can buy. And this is exactly what you're talking about. We have different glass manufacturers or tool makers that participate in the gas market. So all of that information will be available starting in October.
okay.
So yeah, we don't have much more information for you now, except yes, that will be available, and we'll have more specifics for you in the fall.
Okay. So is it like a rented? You have to rent a space.
Correct. So it's 10 by 10, 10 foot by 10 foot booth space. And it will come with tables, chairs, signage, and linens for your table. And then you just bring everything, all of your stuff, and set it up however you want.
Great. Thanks a lot. It was really helpful.
Good, good. And
I have a
Sarah,
question.
I thought I saw your hand a few minutes ago.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Sarah Cohen. I'm a curator at the Flynn Institute of Arts. So we're about an hour north of Detroit. And we have an incredible contemporary glass collection, 10,000 square feet of contemporary craft exhibition space, about 8,000 is glass, and a hot shop that does all sorts of classes. So the museum itself has an incredible amount of resources. My question is, and we're very excited that gas is in Michigan. My question is, has there ever been some sort of an event or something where people travel kind of outside of the region in any of the gas conferences? I've been to a couple, and in my experience, they tend to stick to the city, but we want to kind of do some work, maybe trying to get people up here to see what we've got. And we're also planning to be at gas, myself and probably the entire uh, shops, all of our teachers and everything. So anyway, my question kind of relates to events or something. I don't know if it doesn't really fit in terms of like a lecture or LECMO or anything like that, but I'd like to kind of spitball some ideas.
Yeah, and you guys are actually on my radar, so I'm so happy you're here. And I'm gonna get his name wrong, but the head of your glass department, is it Brent?
Brent, yeah.
Yes, excellent. So he is on my list to reach out to. I was talking to Josh at the Henry Ford about you all and what you have there. And yes is the short answer. We typically don't do things like that during the 4 days of the conference, but for St. Petersburg, as an example, we went down to Sarasota on the day before the conference started, and we took buses of folks down there and did a tour of the Ringling Museum, and we did a demo on site there. So we call those our Day of Glass, and it's really a way to just involve more of the community. So that's something with you guys especially that I've been thinking about. And also we often have pre and post conference workshops, and I thought that that might be something that you could offer to draw people up to Flint. So you're definitely on my mind, and I've been thinking about a couple of different things. So you, much like Suzanne, this is a conversation that we should just continue offline, because there are so many different avenues that this could take. But yes is the short answer.
All right, that's exciting. I'm really excited. I know Brent's really excited. We'll kind of collaborate together, and we'll be in touch. But thank you so much.
Good. And I do have tentative plans. So I'll be back in the Detroit area the first week of August.
Okay.
And I tentatively am planning to come to Flint and see your facility. So I will definitely be in touch with you.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Catherine or Jen, do you have questions?
Hi. I wanted to get together like a bunch of emerging lady glassblowers and do like either a demo or like performance-y demo in the hot shop. And I already like reached out to several people, so it'd be like kind of like people from Europe and America, and I just didn't know if like how much space was available, because well, I know for hot demos it's only like also 2 tickets to the conference, I believe. But I wanted to get together like more than that people, but sorry,
Well,
I'm convoluted in my talk. And also like how much space is available, if it's like we could have more than one glory hole, or I don't know.
Well, in space, we don't have a firm answer on that yet, because we are still working out what that is going to look like. The Corning Museum of Glass is planning to come and bring their mobile unit. We will be using the hot shop at CCS. There are a couple of small units in the Russell Industrial Center, which we plan on using. But we're also talking about bringing in a number of mobile units and creating kind of like a mobile hot shop rodeo situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know exactly what that's going to look like or how much space is going to be involved. But I would say yes, absolutely. That would be a great proposal that we would love to see. And we will, by the time we get to August, we'll have a much better idea of what type of space is available. So I would say put in your proposal with your wish list, like what your ideal situation would be. And as I was saying to Chelsea, once we get through the planning meeting if we need to go back and forth with you. If you say, I want 7 women in the hot shop doing this, we may have to come back to you and say, you know, Catherine, we only have room for 4. And so we would have that type of conversation, but we would have that conversation with you rather than saying, oh, we don't have room for 7, so this is an automatic no.
Well, even if it's like you guys can provide support for X amount of people, and then like if we find a way to have like the other people in, is that okay? Like having more people on the stage kind of thing?
Well, it really is about the space. It's not
Okay.
about, so if we had room for 7 people to be in the hot shop together and working together, we would be happy to provide the 7 conference passes for the co-presenters. So that's not the issue.
Okay.
It's just, are we going to have a space that will accommodate 7 people trying to blow glass all at one time? And that's not something that I know right now.
Okay, cool. And then I know the demos are like an hour and a half usually. So, and I guess because I'm trying to get people from different places together, I guess this might be something to organize with a studio, like if we could come like early a few days before and make some parts for it or something.
Yeah, that's something that happens common or frequently at the conferences. Is we'll have folks that will come in and they will grab an hour and a half or 2 hours, you know, the day before or a couple of days before. It may have to be in the evening or early morning, whenever there's availability. But that is definitely something that we can arrange.
Okay, so we'd organize that with you guys, not necessarily direct to the studio. Okay, cool.
Well, what will happen is once we get through the scheduling portion, everyone will be assigned to a facility, and once that happens, we'll put all of the presenters in direct contact with the studio lead at that facility, so that we're not having to act as the middlemen, and the studio manager can talk directly to the artist to make sure that their needs are being met, that they have all the information that they need. So that will happen sometime towards the end of the year, where you'll be put in touch with those folks.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So any other questions? Yes, Harsh.
Yeah, hi, Brandy. So I just had one question. So basically, so I'll obviously give all of these proposals based on but the lecture and demo. So in the demo, is it like, will I be like showing how I make those drawings with the bangles, or what's the demo part in the lecture?
It can really be whatever you want, and yours is a little bit different. So yours is, I think this is a good fit for you just because of the amount of material that you're trying to convey. I think the documentary that you want to include could act as that part. I think that also if you wanted to bring drawings or samples of the work, or even if you wanted to bring it at different stages of completion to use, I think that would all be considered as the demo portion. So when we put it in the program book and write the description, we'll just need to make sure that we're very clear with people what's happening. But you do not need to come up with an extra demonstration portion just to be included in this.
Got you. And just one more thing, sorry. So I've actually applied for my US visa, but due to the situation of Corona, I've gotten a date which is next year in like May or something. So I asked the US embassy. So they said that if some institution or something gives you a letter or an invitation or something, then they can prepone it based on the date of the event. So in the future, like once this proposal, if it gets accepted, can I get like a letter from?
Absolutely.
Okay, that'll be great.
Yeah, this is something that we do frequently because we have folks coming in from all over the world and they have the same issue. So we are very happy to do that for you.
That'll be great. Thanks.
Mhm.
I have a question. Do you think I should put it as a hot shop demo or a performance? Or does it matter really?
I would say it does matter. And I would say that it really depends on what you're thinking of. If you are thinking of it as just a multi person collaborative demo, then I would definitely bill it as a demo. If it is really more of a performative piece, then I would do it as a performance.
What if we kind of haven't fully fleshed out the idea before the 17th, or if like we change our mind after the fact, or
If you don't know, I would honestly suggest putting in a proposal for both. It is problematic to change your mind after the fact because we oftentimes, again, we're curating it based on the proposals that we get.
Mhm.
So we don't, and we accept it on the proposal that we get. So we can't always accommodate the changes that are requested after the fact, and we don't
Okay.
always have the space available to
Mhm.
accommodate those things.
Okay, cool.
Anyone else? You've all been very just straightforward and knew exactly what you needed to know and have made this extremely easy on us. Lauren, is there anything else that we should tell them while they're thinking if they have any other questions, any other details that I've forgotten to include?
That is a great question. I don't think so. I did make a note though to we've gotten a couple questions about visas and information, so I know we are going to be reaching out to see if we have any potential contacts in or around the Detroit area or any immigration lawyers who might be able to assist us with making sure that all of our presenters get their visas. But that's still in the works.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, and if you all think of questions between now and the 17th or even after the 17th, don't hesitate to reach out to me or reach out to events@glassart.org. With those questions, we're happy to answer them. We don't want you to feel like you're filling out this proposal and don't really know what you're looking at. Lauren, do you mind dropping the link in the chat for the guide, the proposal guide?
Brandy,
Yes,
sorry, I have another question.
no problem, Jenna.
The reason I asked about two proposals is I'm currently working with a physicist on a project where we're mimicking some of the characteristics and behaviors of these micromarine organisms in the glass studio, and then we're pushing it in the glass studio, and then we're going to bring it back to the science to see how what we discover in the glass studio can help advance science. So there will be artifacts of objects made in the studio, and I'm wondering if it's better to present that as a LECMO or as just a lecture.
That's a good question. And if you just have,
because I'm not really like showing like, and this is how you make this thing that I made.
How, I think if you don't think that it will add time, because again, the time difference is a lecture is an hour, a LECMO is an hour and a half. If you don't think it will add additional time needs, like for Harsh, I think the fact that he has that video that could add additional time is why that should be considered LECMO. But if you don't think it's going to add time to yours, I think it could just be a lecture, and then you could bring these these artifacts and have them on display throughout the lecture and invite people to come up and look at them if they needed a closer view, if that's what you were thinking. Is that along the lines of your original thought?
No, that helps actually, because actually I think then a LECMO is better because there's video footage of the marine animals, and there'll be documentation of stuff from the studio and sort of the paralleling between the two. So even though it's not necessary, it's an unusual LECMO because I've been to many LECMOs, and this would be different in that regard, but the extra time would allow for the video footage components, which is actually with the marine life stuff is pretty interesting.
And that's exactly where I think Harsh's proposal is. So we may honestly just need to come up with a new name for it, because it is very different. As you've been to many LECMOs, you said, so LECMOs are typically about process, and that's what they focus on. So we may actually dub these something different once we get to the program book portion of the conference. But for your purposes, I would say complete it as a LECMO, and I will know what you're talking about and why you're doing it that way. That's for both you and Harsh.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Anything else that you guys can think of? Well, again, don't hesitate to reach out to us via email, via social media, whatever's the easiest format for you. We're happy to answer your questions. I'll be honest with you. We get a lot more questions the closer we get to the 17th. So I would say if you have questions, ask them as soon as you have them rather than waiting until the 16th, because our inbox get pretty full on that day. Okay, great, Jen. Great. So anyway, if we don't have any other questions, I'm not going to keep you folks here and let you get on with your days and your evenings. Harsh, I'm not sure what time is it in India right now?
So right now it's around 8 o'clock at night in the evening.
Okay, so yes, get on with your mornings and your evenings, and just enjoy the rest of your days. And I'm so excited that you're all interested in Detroit, and I can't wait to read your proposals.
Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.